Hi everyone, thank you for joining today's webinar on the reports portal, commonly used reports. In today's webinar, we're going to go over using the quick reference guide to go over all of your reports, not just a commonly used one, but it's a great tool for you to use when you're looking at the reports inside of the portal, and then we're going to review some of those commonly used reports. So I'm going to go ahead and just switch here to My Vision Express. And to get to the reports portal, you're going to go to File, Reports, Reports Portal. And I already have mine open here. So here is my portal, and I've actually set up a category here or bucket with the commonly used reports that I'm going to go over today. So if you don't know how to add these reports to the category, all of the reports are found here in your folder. Under reports, there's 4 parent folders that you can look through, and that is where these reports come from. You can also use the search criteria field here at the top to find the report. If you know the name of the report, you can easily just type it there and find it that way. So I'm going to go over our very first report here. Is going to be our age receivables report by patient. And notice that there is another age receivables report right underneath that one. It's for insurance by insurance company. These are 2 very valuable, 2 very important reports, because this is going to show you, well, you know, what balances are open, what do patients owe us, and how old is it, or what insurance companies have not paid us, and how long ago, you know, did we submit that claim and we've been waiting for payment. So these are 2 age receivables reports that we're going to look at. I'm going to start off with age receivables by patient. And this particular report has a parameter of a date 2. So that means that it's going to give you up to today's date the age receivables for your patients. Okay. The location that I am logged into is already defaulted in the location field for me. And I want to see on this report all of my order statuses. So all is already selected for me. And I'm going to select the breakdown state of expand all. That way, once I generate the report, all of the information is already going to show for me. So I'm going to click on view report. And depending on how much data or how much information is going to be generated on the report, it's going to take a minute or 2 to generate. And this one happened fairly quickly. Okay, because this is an age report too, it's also going to show me the oldest first and the newest or the most current date at the bottom. Okay, so the oldest date that I have here for order 191 is for April of 2012. Okay, and again, this is a fake database that I'm using, so none of this information is for real patients. But you're going to see that it's going to give you the date of the order, what status that order may have. So that's very important, especially if you decide to filter this report by the order status. And as you can see, some of my order statuses are blank. That's because we didn't put that on the order. So if you ever look at a report and you don't see the information you want on there, all of this data and all of this information is coming from My Vision Express. So if you didn't put an order status on the order, you're not going to see an order status on the report. You'll see the patient account number, the patient's information. You're going to see the account balance here for the patient is $233.25. And I can see that that is over 120 days old. Okay, so very, very valuable report when it comes to billing or sending out statements to your patients. You can take a look at this, and as you can see, we have all of the old ones first. I'm going to just scroll through the report here. And I have quite a few of them that are over 120 days old. So that means that somebody in my billing department needs to get on the list here. And then here you can see that you can see the change here in column. So here I can start seeing that about here at this date of 10/11/15, I have this balance here of $70 that is, gonna scroll up to the top here, my mouse up, that are between 91 and 120 days old. And then you'll have your balances that are between 61 and 90 days old, and 31 and 60 days old, and between 0 to 30 days old. So this is going to tell you the age of that balance. All right. Now, this is for your patient. Okay, so let's go to the one for the insurance. So I'm going to go here back to list, and we'll take a look at the one for the age receivables by insurance company report. I'm going to go ahead and select expand all. And if you want to kind of not make this a little bit overwhelming, you can do this per insurance company. So maybe you don't want to say all here, you just want to see, well, what does IMED have outstanding that they haven't paid? So we're going to go to view report. I selected IMED to kind of filter the report down for us. And here you're going to see that insurance company. You'll see the plan, okay, the date of the order number, the patient's name and their patient number. And if you gave that claim a status, you will see that in here as well. It's going to tell you the insurance balance and then the age of that balance. Again, you're going to see the older, here in this particular case, it's filtering it by plan. So you can see, okay, the detail, and it's going to categorize the insurance accounts receivable balances according to the time and how long it's been outstanding. This is very, very important too for insurance billing, because majority of your insurance companies, after 120 days, that's a little past due there. They're probably not going to pay for that. So, or you need to take a look, or maybe it was denied, or something is going on with that particular claim. So majority of the insurance company give you that 120-day window. So this is a great report to look at, especially if you got something here under the 91 to 120. That's kind of, we can say, a red flag, and you want to look further into that and see why they haven't paid it or what's going on with that particular claim. All right, so I'm going to go back to list, and we're going to take a look at the day sheet. This is a very big report. This is a very important report. This report is going to give you all of the detailed information of your location's financial activity, including sales totals, payment totals, occurring receivable balances based on the time frame that we search here. Okay, and it does say day sheet, so you would typically run this for just the current date. But if you wanted to maybe run it for the whole month, for example, or run it for a week, you can choose a date range here that you may want. So I'm gonna run this here for the first, because I know I have data on that date range, in case you're wondering why I selected that date. So I'm gonna click on view report. And this is what the day sheet looks like. So there's a few sections here in the day sheet. Very first section is going to be my sales, and it's going to kind of break that down into different categories here. So we have the sale of frames, the sale of lenses, of lens treatments, frame parts, other, which is like your accessories, cases, cleaners, those type of things. And then the total of that category. And then we have contact lenses, professional services, and then those are considered non-eyeglass sales, so you'll have that line, and then a grand total. And then that's going to give you a gross. If there was any discounts, you're going to see that, any write-offs, and your net. Okay, then over to the right of that, if you're performing a daily closing, and there is a daily closing report as well. The daily closing report summarizes all the accountability of your monetary transactions based on the particular date range that you decide. So if we ran this for just February the 1st, so accountability of the transactions for that day. You're going to see it on the daily closing report, and you're also going to see it here on the day sheet, which is this section here that says payments. Okay, so in your daily closing, you'll see this breakdown as well. All right, you'll see each payment method, for example, cash, check, EFT, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express. You're going to see what you received, if there was any adjustments made. So if you're receiving payments not just from your patient, but maybe you're receiving an insurance payment and you posted that payment, you're going to see it in here in your day sheet. So notice that you have a section that says check insurance. That's talking about an insurance check or EFT or ACH payment that you posted from your insurance company. And then you're going to see your total. At the bottom of that, you see quite a few green fields there. So you'll have total payments, any variance, any refunds that were done, and your net payments and your net deposits for the day. You have another section giving you the breakdown of taxes, the breakdown of those total refunds. So the breakdown of these total refunds here, it's going to show in this section here. It's going to give you the type of refund that you did. So cash, check, or you did it back to a Visa or American Express, and the total here again. Then down at the bottom, you have a section for sales deductions. It'll give you the type of deduction that you did. So if you did an insurance write-off or a manager discount, you'll see that at the bottom. And it's going to give you an age receivables as well, a small little age receivable section. And then if you have multiple locations and maybe you took payment for orders at another location, you will see that section down at the bottom. In my particular example, there's really nothing there because I only have one location and no payments were taken anywhere else. So a very important report. You want to see, you know, what your sales were for the day, what the payments were that you took, refunds. All of that information is going to be found here in your day sheet. I'm going to go back here to the list. And this report that we're going to take a look at now, exam unbilled charges. Please note that this report is going to work for those of you that use the EHR portion of our software. So if you just use the practice management part of My Vision Express, this report will always be blank because you don't do exams inside of My Vision Express. So exam unbilled charges, I apologize, exam unbilled charges report is going to detail all of the exams performed within the search criteria date that we select. So notice here we have a date range that we can put in here. I'm just going to go back here. And I can select an exam status. So you can either have exams open or locked. So those are the two options. I'm just going to say all. And you can also break this down by the doctor, or you can say all. So this report is going to show all exams performed within that certain date range that have not been attached to an order. Okay, so that means that the fees haven't been collected for that exam. All right, so we got one here between that date range of January the 1st to the 8th. I can see that for Dr. Franklin, he did an exam on January the 4th. Exam number is 1129 for patient Charles Darwin. It was for 92014, and it's 120, and we didn't bill for that. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are billing our patient for all of the services that our doctors do. So this is a very important report. We want to make sure that there's nothing on here, that it comes up blank, because if something's on there, that means that we didn't bill for it. And I'm probably going to say that the majority of the time, the doctors want to get paid on the day of service for the services that they render. So we'll go back to list here, and we'll take a look at an orders by report. We have an orders by employee and an orders by physician report. So orders by employee is a great report to look at the financial detail of the orders created between a certain date range here. So I'm just going to pick from the first to today. And you can break this down by a specific employee or by all of your employees if you like. And there's some exclusions that you can also run the report with. You can also select a specific order status if you like. So I'm just going to go ahead and set up some parameters there and generate some information here for us to look at this report. So we can see here, it's going to give us the name of the employee. It's going to tell us what order, because I didn't specify a type of order, I just said all types of orders. If you wanted to, maybe you only want to see, well, what contact lens orders were done or what glasses orders were done. That's something that you can use in the parameters. Okay, so you'll have the order type, the date of the order number, the patient's name. If there was any insurance on that order, it's going to show you that. It will show you the status of the order, gross retail. We don't have any contract write-offs here. Any discounts that were given on that order, and then your net retail, any tax that was on that order. So for example, here I have a frame only. I charge tax there for frame only because there's no lenses on that. So you'll see tax column. If there was any insurance applied, you'll see the insurance responsibility and the patient responsibility. If the insurance paid anything, you'll see that here in this column. Any EOB write-offs that were done, what the patient paid, what the insurance balance is, what the patient balance is, and the total of these two, insurance and patient balance, is going to be under total balance. So this report is giving us a lot of information. This is a good report to see, you know, who's selling in the store, what employee is doing good. Also, it's going to show you, you know, you might have an employee that does great numbers, but are they going the extra mile to sell add-ons, for example, like anti-reflective coatings or scratch-resistant coatings, or maybe selling a second pair of glasses, for example. So you can use this report to look at what your employees are doing and see who's being productive. Maybe that's the employee that you want to go ahead and give more hours to, for example. So very detailed report on your orders by employee. And then I'm going to go back here to the list and we're going to look at orders by physician. Basically, this is going to be almost the same thing, but not for your employees, but how are your doctors doing? Okay. So again, this one we can run for a particular date range here. And I'm just going to go ahead and say all with the physician, and I got 2 here. Okay, perfect. So here, instead of seeing the employee, we're going to see the doctor. So it's going to give us all of the information we just saw on the orders by employee, but instead of per employee, it's going to be for your physician. All right. So those are some of the most commonly used reports here in the reports portal. I do want to share with you also the quick reference guide. And the quick reference guide can be found on our support website, and I'm going to take you to that here. I have that up. Let me just find it 1 second. So this is the reports portal quick reference guide. This is a complete list of all of the reports in the portal with a description of the report. They're all in the order that you see them in, that you find them in the portal. So if you're not familiar with the reports, and there is a lot of them, this is going to give you a brief description. Okay, so for example, the very first report there, we did take a look at that one today. You'll see the description for that report, age receivables, insurance by insurance company, and so on here. This can be found on our support website. So I'll show you how to get to that, support.myvisionexpress.com. If you just go right up here to this search field, you can just type in reports, quick reference guide, and that's going to show up here. So I'll just click here and it will take me right to that document. This is a live document, and that means that as we update our reports, the documentation is also getting updated. So if you just so happen to print this and we make some changes, then you might want to print it out again after we update that. And you can see at the top when the last edit was made. Okay. For each report, so I'm going to take you to the portal again. Each report also has its own individual documentation. So I just opened up that very first folder here just to show you how to get to that documentation for each individual report. This is a live document as well. Okay, so you're going to see a question mark next to that report. You can go ahead and click on that question mark. It's going to open up that documentation for that report, giving you again a description of that report, a suggestion of when it would be beneficial to use that report and who should use that report. Also a description of all of the parameters or the search criteria that you can use to generate the report, and also a description of all of the fields, all of the information that comes up on that report when you generate that. There's also some report assumptions. Not every report has report assumptions, so some of them you might find blank, just like this one here. And some of them might have some report assumptions, so we'll put those in there for each report. Also, we created a section for related reports for you to look at. Maybe we suggest you take a look at those. You want to take a look at some additional information. Okay. Again, this documentation is also updated. It is a live document, and you'll see when the last update was done right at the top of that. Okay. So I'm going to go back here to the reports portal. This is the end of today's webinar. I want to thank you for joining me today.